Hey everyone, Baxty here, and I'm recording this off my phone because basically needs to be as raw as possible. But yeah, the John Elkin comments. I mean, oh, like I'm still angry about them, and it's been nearly 24 hours since they came to light. You know, long and short of it, he said the Brazil was a disaster, which it was. It was a horrible weekend for Ferrari. The mechanics are doing a really good job. The engineers have made the car better, but the drivers need to basically shut up and drive. Like, how? In what world are the drivers at fault for this, John Elkin? Like, in what world are they at fault? Explain that one, because they can't control. They haven't built a car that requires them to lift and coast all the time. What they have done is you've got one driver who's achieved 7 podiums this year. You've had the other driver get you a sprint pole and a sprint win this year. So how does that make sense? That they're the ones that are the problem? Yeah, and apparently the comments were aimed at Lewis Hamilton. I immediately thought that they were being aimed at Lewis. Why are you digging out Lewis? Has his performance been great this year? No, I'm not going to stand here and blindly tell you that Lewis has been fantastic this year. He's not been. But let's be clear. You bought Lewis Hamilton to this team, or we all thought you bought Lewis Hamilton to this team to improve your team. You were 14 points off winning a Constructors' Championship last year. You're bringing Lewis Hamilton in to try and bridge that gap. He's a 7-time world champion, and not just to bridge the gap, but to put you on a long-term footing for success. And you said the drivers need to think about Ferrari. Well, Lewis has been doing that. He's submitted, two quite comprehensive dossiers on how the team needs to change and how they need to change their practices in order to win. He's been vocal this week about the level of stewarding, and he's absolutely right to do that. He's a 7-time world champion, for God's sake. His voice carries more weight than most of the other drivers combined. So, why is Lewis at fault here? His performances, okay, yeah, fair. You can criticise him for that. They've not been good this year, but he's trying to do the thing that you allegedly brought him to the team to do. To make you a winning team, to change the culture. Because what culture is that? 17 years since you won your last World Constructors' Championship. 18 years since you won your last World Drivers' Championship. You needed somebody to come in and change it. But now he's telling you what you need to change. You don't want to do it? And then you wonder why you haven't won in that time. You've literally won the square root of fuck all. And I'm telling you now, this is the beginning of the end for Lewis at Ferrari already. The fact that we're getting coded messages blaming him for what's going on and saying the team isn't unified. Really? And then I've got fans telling me that, they won't drop Lewis. Lewis leaves when he wants. Really? The same team that dropped Fernando Alonso, the same team that dropped Sebastian Vettel, the same team that dropped their most recent World Drivers' Champion, Kimi Raikkonen. Twice they dropped him. Twice. Oh, and just to add insult to injury, they dropped their most successful driver in history in Michael Schumacher. They dropped him. He retired, but he was already out the door at Ferrari because they wanted more control. They wanted Kimi, he didn't, so Michael had to go. So don't tell me that, they won't sack Lewis Hamilton. Of course they'll bloody sack Lewis Hamilton. They don't care. And let's talk about the other driver in this equation, Charles Leclerc. How dare you criticise Charles Leclerc? The guy that has given you his entire career, whose entire existence in Formula One is to drive for your team, to win for your team, to win championships for your team. And you're criticising him? Really, John Elkin? Really? What have you won since you became president of Ferrari? Nothing. Nothing. As I said, the team hasn't won anything in 17 years. You've come close, but you haven't won anything. So maybe your culture needs to change. And you need to listen to your drivers, particularly the 7-time world champion that you hired in. In fact, in the last 20 years, Lewis Hamilton has won more races than your entire team combined. Him on his own. He's won 104 of them. Let's make this even worse for you. Max Verstappen, in the last 20 years, has won more races than Ferrari has. And you think that the driver is the problem. This is how messed up Ferrari are right now. I guarantee you, Max Verstappen, best driver on the grid right now, he goes to Ferrari, he doesn't win anything. He will not win anything in the Ferrari in its current state. It won't happen. Because he'll look and say, well, if Lewis can't do it, then I can't. No way. If they're not going to listen to him, they will not listen to me. Culture of failure. And it starts at the top. It starts with you, John Elkann. You absolute clown. It starts with you. Yeah, sure, Ferrari won the WEC Championship this year. Incredible. But the F1 team is the jewel in your crown. You've chopped and changed your team principles. You've chopped and changed your drivers. And it's brought you nothing. So you have to look at a greater root cause. The drivers are not your problem. They're the ones trying to deliver the results. Let's take an opinion of another of your greatest drivers, Niki Lauda, who said the best barometer for which way you need to develop a car is the driver. So listen to them. They're the ones that park their asses in those cars. They will tell you what needs to be done. But if you don't want to listen to them, you will continue to fail. You will continue to fail. And when you drop Lewis at the end of next year and Charles decides to go as well, you're going to be left right at the bottom of the pack. You will. And there'll be those of you telling me, oh, Baxter, you're a Mercedes fan. Why do you care? I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. At the end of the day, I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan and a Mercedes fan. And I want Lewis to succeed. I'm desperate for him to win that 8th World Championship that was snatched away from him. But it ain't going to happen in red. It just isn't going to happen. You know, the drivers are being blamed for no reason. No reason at all. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous to me that has happened. Yeah, and you've got a guy running a team who cannot help but interfere at every possible opportunity. You know, John Elkann, who's won nothing as president of Ferrari other than a WEC Championship and Le Mans twice. You know, fantastic achievements. But in F1, you've won nothing. You've won nothing. Square root of fuck all. You've won nothing. But no, it's the driver's fault. You've chopped and changed your team principle. What's that brought you? Nothing. Oh, and remind me, how did that earnings call go a few weeks ago when Ferrari's stock price plummeted? That's on you as well, John Elkann. Let's be clear here. The buck stops with you. So maybe, why don't you do what Luca Montezemolo did before he decided to take back control of the team and just write the checks and let the team run itself? Make sure that the engineers are listening to your star drivers. You have the best driver lineup on the grid. So listen to them. And rather than allowing the culture of failure to continue, let it change. Let the racers, let the racing minds do their thing. Because quite frankly, you interfering isn't helping the team unity. It's destroying it. Anyway, that's my little rant over. Like and subscribe. See you all soon.